Today we remember the fallen five. The fallen five are American service members killed in a domestic terror attack on July 16, 2015, Chattanooga, Tennessee. A lone gunman opened fire at a military center on Lee Highway before driving to the Navy Resource Center, where he killed 4 Marines and wounded a Navy sailor who died days later. The 5 fallen service members are Gunnery Sergeant Thomas Sullivan, Staff Sergeant David Wyatt, Sergeant Carson Holmquist, Lance Corporal Squire Skip Wells, and Navy Petty Officer 2nd Class Randall Smith. Following a joint investigation by the FBI, the attack was determined to have been inspired by foreign terrorist propaganda. The city of Chattanooga honored these men by establishing a permanent memorial, the Wreath of Honor, Fallen Five Memorial at the Tennessee River. We will never forget.
Hello, everybody. Recording live from somewhere. Lord.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing
Welcome to the show. We appreciate you watching. Appreciate you checking us out on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and I think we're on LinkedIn tonight. We do have a change in schedule, but we'll get to that in just a second. Be sure and like, share, follow, comment, and let's get some people here for the Thursday Triple Threat Vet show. Last week, our guest was Hope McGregor, songwriter, storyteller, artist, Army aviation veteran, came on, waxed poetic about a lot of stuff. Had a great time with her. Really appreciate her coming on and sharing her story. Always want to give a shout out. If you don't watch our live show, you can catch our show wherever you get your podcast. This here is Colonel Retired Nicole Spears, U.S. Army Medical Corps, one of my mentors, outstanding human, and you can catch her on the Triple Threat Vets episode number 108. Big shout out to Got Your Six Culture, www.sameflagsameoath. They provide all of the gear that we wear here on the podcast. Appreciate them very much. I'm wearing one of the old school stuff. You can't even get this no more, so don't even try. This is exclusive. Big shout out to Becky Jo Art. She is the actual talent in that family, as Al likes to say. But big shout out to Becky Jo Art, creating some great stuff. You see the Odin behind Matt here when we bring him on here in a second. Check her out, BeckyJoArt.com. And always the crew over with Project Zero. Kyle Shudick doing great stuff for veterans. They got adventure therapy. They got charters offshore now. They do surf fishing with sharks. They do overlanding. Pretty much anything you have to do to get out there. They have conventional therapies available as well, different modalities and things like that. So give them a shout out. ProjectZero.com, Kyle Shudick and the crew. Well, we did have a guest planned for today, but they had to cancel due to some issues going on with their house. I guess they're moving. So your face could be here. Hit us up at triplethreatvets@gmail.com if you want to come on the show and tell your story. But before we get to what we're going to be doing this week, let me hand it over to Matt Johnson.
Well, hello, everybody. We're here. You're here. So it's time to do another podcast, and today we're just going to talk some shit, but we're going to talk shit about stuff you need to know about. And for where I live, happy birthday, Fulshear, Texas. Today's your birthday, 202 years old. Way to go. I guess everybody's starting to find out that it's a cool ass place to live because this bitch is growing. Anyway, if you want to buy a house in Fulshear, hit me up. Yeah. I mean, I don't think we need to jump over any more than that, but yeah, go check out all the fine establishments that support us and we support, and that could be anyone from our musical artists we've had on to Becky Joe Art to Got Your Six that makes the t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and promotional items, to the comedians that we know, Eric Knowles and Michael Sanchez. Shout out to them. They have a show in Pearland at the VFW on Saturday. If you're in Pearland and you want to laugh your ass off, the VFW post in Pearland is the place to be. And Got Your Six will be at Project Halo Brewing in Fulshire from 4 to 8 on Saturday, doing a hat bar. So if you want to design your own hat and walk out the door with it, you got to be there and you'll get one. You just got to buy it.
Wax poetic about the capabilities you have. Like, it's not just, you're not just coming there and buying a hat that already existed. You're basically getting something very custom.
Yeah. So we call it our gear issue. So with Got Your Six, what we've started doing is going to different establishments and doing what we call gear issue. Just like when we got to boot camp and you get in the line and they give you all your clothes and they throw it at you and you walk down the line and get your PT clothes, your shorts, your t-shirts, your shoes. It's just thrown all at you, throw it in a box. The only difference here is you get to throw it on your head and walk out the door. So you come in, we have a selection of different colored blank hats. You pick the hat that you want. We've got designs that are ready to go. There are times where if you have a pretty simple business logo or a design that you've been wanting to put on a hat, we can do that as well. And you pick the color patch you want to go on the hat. I go in the back behind a curtain. I make the patch. I press it to the hat. Then you get to wear it around and tell everybody how cool it is for the rest of the night. And then all your friends will come to the table and buy one too. But it's just our way to give you an opportunity to get something custom that you don't see in a store every day. It's not often that you can go, I really wanted to put this on a hat, and someone tells you they can do it. We can do that. So if you're looking to do events out there and you want a cool thing at your event that people will gravitate towards, hit us up, info@gotyoursix.com. We're happy to come out and do it, but we'll be doing that this weekend, Saturday, 4 to 8, Project Halo Brewing, Fulshire, Texas.
That's what I'm talking about. You got to will the people to come get what you got.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and if you don't get it, then you just got to go to the website and buy what's available. That's just how it is. Or just hit me up. Maybe we can do something custom for you.
Yeah. I've been the brand ambassador, I think, for about 5 years now. It's the only t-shirt I wear. They're comfortable. It's the only hats I wear, other than my one hat that I wear for my son. But like, I appreciate all the work you guys do. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, man, it's growing. So that's part of, before the show today, we were talking about things like that. And I think that it's important for us, since, we don't have a guest and we've got to go kind of from the hip, as they say. All of us know how to shoot from the hip. Easy. One of the biggest things that we talk about is transition of veterans out of service, whether you're retiring or you're separating, or we've had a lot of guests recently that were like, okay, you got like 6 months or you got 90 days, you're getting out, right? So once you have to cross over to that other side, it is very, very hard to go into uncharted waters that you didn't get to plan for. There's no mission brief. There's no, country brief. There's no way to tell you what's going to happen. You have no idea. So you're going in blind. It's like you're going to boot camp all over again. You don't know what to expect. You've heard about it. The civilian shit is hard, right?
Yeah. Before we get into transitioning, though, I want to talk about this. I may be transitioning my ass into the doghouse tonight. Big shout out to Sarah Cobb. It's her birthday. I'm not going to say how old she is. She's 29 plus a few years. But she's my high school sweetheart. And we've been married now for, I think, 17 years. Something like that. And it's been amazing. She's, I'm doing a podcast and she's out playing bunco. So shout out, Sarah.
Happy birthday, Sarah Cobb.
And it would seem that somebody else we know here, his wife, April, also shares a birthday. So they're out celebrating April Hero's birthday today. And this is actually a picture from today. Al is enjoying a drink. And he should be back in a little while, hopefully a little bit inebriated. And
obviously, he's enjoying the birthday more than maybe she is. I don't know. Maybe she's got a bigger margarita. I don't know.
When I got the picture, I got a text from him that says, I'm the only one that's having a lot of fun, and he shows me the gallon drink. So,
well, probably because he ordered the gallon drink and it immediately went, it's my birthday, right? Like, what are we doing right now?
Hell yeah. But anyway, I digress. Back to transitioning.
Happy birthday, ladies. It must be awesome to be 25 every year. I don't know how to do that, but it's possible.
I don't see how my 25-year-old wife puts up with me.
Oh, 100%. Same. So Ty, this is my question. So it's not often that we get to talk about things back and forth because we really enjoy telling stories of veterans and talking about guests, but it's not often we get to go back and forth about different things and just ask questions on the show, right? And I know that normally you have questions prepared and things that you've been thinking about, but I've been on this journey for the last couple of weeks building business, right? So if you watch this podcast, you know that I own Got Your Six with my wife Becky. We do apparel, t-shirts, hats. We can do branded items now. We can engrave keychains. If you want to just throw shit at people and say this is my stuff, we can do it for you. And I also have forayed back into the real estate world, right? So I'm starting to build those again. And my question to you, Ty, we talk about transition all the time on here, but before we get into the transition part, I want to ask you, what do you think about networking?
Well, that's an interesting question. Like, it's networking in the true sense of the word, I think is amazing, but I think a lot of people network the wrong way. And so I know that when I first came out of the military, we always talk about being a detachment sergeant, people standing up when you walk into a room when you're in the military, and then when you come out, you really have to humble yourself and kind of adhere and assimilate to how civilians act. And there was a definite learning curve for me to learn that because I expected my will to be done. I was that kind of a leader to where I expected shit. So networking, learning things, learning from all the people that we've had on the on the show as our guest list, it's made me change. But it's a much needed thing, and I don't do enough of it, even though we network a lot. What do you think? What have you been doing lately on your journey?
Well, to sort of unpack what you just said, I think you have the key point being made there, not to, and here's the thing for everybody to know. Networking is not, there's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. There's no perfect way to do it. There's no imperfect way to do it. But I think a lot of veterans feel like networking is what you said, Ty, when you first got out, right? When you get out, you're a leader. You have soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, space cadets, or whatever they call them in the Space Force that are under you, coasties. You have all those junior, and then if you're a senior NCO, senior people that you're mentoring, training, and doing, right? So networking in the military is dropping nuggets of knowledge, right? And you do that around the other senior NCOs. And, for me and Al, we were chiefs. So we were in the chief's mess, and you got to be in that room and you shared ideas with like-minded people. But the thing about it that I think people get confused on, when you go out to network in the civilian world, you're not networking with a whole bunch of sergeant first classes, senior chiefs, gunnery sergeants. You're not networking with people that, although a lot of them have different jobs, right? Different MOSs, different rates, different specialties. You're all NCOs. So the leadership is the same. What we don't realize is that when you get out of the civilian into the civilian sector, I think a lot of people don't see that everybody that has a different job is truly doing a different thing. And what you should do is like shut up and listen, and not go in and tell your entire life story and tell people how they should do things and tell them how it should go and what you see is wrong with, whatever, you know what I mean? And so we get frustrated doing networking because nobody listens to us, I think. I don't know. What do you think about that? I think it's just the perception of it.
Yeah, I know that I used to try to, basically regurgitate my entire career to people and explain to them who I was. And I would try to use as many words that I thought civilians would use and not use the acronyms. but I found that it just made me over explain myself. And before you know it, you don't know where you're at in the conversation at all. And you kind of lose the point. You make a bad impression, and get frustrated. I think that's, miseducation about what we should be doing and how we're doing it. I think that's what leads to a lot of veteran frustration post-military service.
For sure. I agree with that. And I think, to your point, when you're telling all of that information about your career and your story, it's all relevant to you. And some people want to hear about it, but now this is where that veteran mindset comes from, that nobody cares and they're just throwing us to the side and they're doing all these things, right? So if you remember, and this is, again, I just want everybody to know this is the world according to me. I've kind of like seen some things in the last couple of weeks and we're getting there, but I kind of want to set it up for everybody, right? Like, the person in your unit that always had a story to tell that you told, did you like that guy? Did you want to hear when someone's telling a story and that guy walks in the room? I know everybody can remember that one person. Maybe for people, it was us, Ty, that they were like, oh, fuck, here it goes. They're in the room. Like, they're going to have something to say. And when you start doing that, like, going off and having something to say, you make it seem like you're the most important person in the room, when in fact you really want to get to know the person you're talking to, because they may be the most important person to you in that moment, and how they can help you like move forward to get a job or find an opportunity or meet somebody new, right? Like, you're never going to get over the hurdle if you're the only one talking, right? You got to use your two ears. A lot of people say it, like, you should listen to people more. You should do that more. And it's hard for us because a lot of us were the senior NCOs. When you walk in the room, everybody's waiting for you to say, this is what we're going to do. And we're going to go do it like this. And you're going to go that way. And if someone asks the question, you listen for a second to be like, that's a great idea. I wish that you were me, but you're not. So we're going to go do this. And so when you get out and nobody gives a shit what you say, that's when you start to go, oh my God, what's going on? Right. Mm-hmm. So that's why I was asking, like, for networking for you was that. And I thought the same thing with networking. Right. And the other part that I found, tell me if you've been here, you go to do networking, right? You get there, whole bunch of people in the room. How many people do you talk to? How many people do you go up and talk to?
Well, I mean, I there's two examples. When I first got there, I would literally go to the furthest table on the furthest corner away from wherever I knew the podium was for the speaker. And I would sit there, and inevitably someone would come and talk to me and be like, hey, can I sit next to you? Because they were the outward person. Over the last 9 years, it's gotten to the point to where when I walk in a room in Tomball, like, I'm excited to see most of these people that I go to these network, especially Chamber of Commerce centric and or VFW and American Legion. I'm excited to see these people most of the time. So, but yeah, at first I sat the furthest away and didn't say a word to anyone. And if someone asked me, it was probably like trying to get information out of Fort Knox.
Right. Because when we're in the military, people just will gravitate towards wherever and start talking to you, right? And it's easy to strike up with a conversation with someone you've never met because we're wearing the same thing. You know what I mean? Both wear a uniform, or both in the unit. We can both say what's up. We both have the same bitch and complain about what this junior whatever, or whether it's a junior, sailor or soldier, or a junior officer, like, holy shit, what we're doing. For me, same way. I used to go to networking events, and I've recently, like, this is that journey you go on, right? You have to change how you look at things, or it's never going to get better or different, or you're not going to get a different result, right? So I've made it a point to go into these places now and do that. But forever I would go in too, and I'd just walk around, and I would just walk around. Never would talk to anybody, never would say hello. And what I found is I got lucky in a lot of those situations, because, like you said, the outgoing person that wants to meet everybody, who I used to be like, Jesus Christ, this person doesn't shut up, dude. Like, why are you still like going and going and going and going? I would always kind of meet whoever that person was by chance because they were looking to meet everybody that was there that they've never met before. And then they would start introducing me to a whole bunch of people, right? So I would kind of get lucky in that arena. And now on the back end, sitting back and looking at it, that person's just trying to meet people to gain new insight, new opportunities, and find is there a way that they can work with you, or is there a way that they can help you find someone that can work with you? You know what I mean? Does that make sense? And I know that you know this because you do a lot with the Chamber of Commerce where you're at, right? And that room is designed to do that. I will tell you, the Chamber of Commerce you're at, I really like their meetings. I think they do a very good job. Not everybody is created equally, though, right? So that's the other piece to get into. So getting to the transition piece.
Yeah. Shout out Tomball, Greater Tomball Area Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, for sure. So getting to the transition piece, right? We always talk about things that we feel like, well, not that we feel like, but we say that the military's got to do better at preparing veterans to get out, right? You got to do a better job. I think teaching guys how to network would be one of those things that you could teach them to do, and this has really been 2 weeks, but it's really hit ahead this week. Like, what was it? Tuesday. Went to a veteran networking group. I told you about it, but like we both weren't able to go. The schedules didn't like match up for it. I'm going to tell you right now, dude, I sat in a room and I met a whole bunch of new people, and I met a whole bunch of people that I already knew that I didn't know that I knew through Got Your Six. Mm-hmm. One of the guys that owns the bar in Tomball, the Social House, shout out to the Social House, veteran owned by an Army vet. He's fucking cool as shit. You should go drink his booze. He plays for the Fire Dogs. And I was like, I'm doing your uniforms. And then that turned into, well, if you're doing those, you get more opportunities there. So I guess, the networking piece, what I'm saying is, if you're a veteran and you're looking to do something, get away from I don't need to brag about who I am. Remember that whole piece is like, I don't need to brag because I already know what I can do, and you're going to see it when I perform. Well, there's a news flash for everybody right now. Nobody outside of the military knows what you can do unless you show them. You have to start bragging about yourself. You have to put yourself out there, and you have to wiggle your way into doing something with someone so someone sees a proof concept. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we've been living this for the last at least 3.5 years with the podcast itself. We know that the podcast, the show itself, is not really the goal. We know what we're trying to do with our transition to help others transition. Yeah. So yeah, I agree. Like there's been a lot of trying to put ourselves out there on this podcast and working with VSOs, and that's what we're trying to do, is get noticed in a certain way too. But proof of concept goes a long way. But I want that big money so we can just make this shit happen.
I mean, for me, I do that here every Thursday. You guys already know if you're here, right? Every Thursday we're here. We talk to guests, we interview them, we tell their stories, and it's all about them. I've come to realize, I'm not an expert at any of this shit, by the way, but I'm really good, I feel like, at asking you a question, letting you tell your story, then asking another question that allows somebody that allows that person to expound on it a little bit, and truly, genuinely get to know you, right? And I think you do this, and Al as well. We all do this very well. We are very good at helping everybody else make it, if that makes sense, right? Like, this person's great. You should talk to this person. You should go there. You should do that. And for a long time, I never thought that we should expect anything in return. And then I found that we shouldn't, right? Like, you shouldn't. And the reason that we shouldn't expect anything in return, as I thought through these things, is because I got to go make that opportunity. If I'm that good about talking about that person, I do this other shit every day. I should be just as good talking about that as I am trying to help, other people ascend there. And so it's like, just in the short,
man. In the short, we've been on for 24 minutes. So, we had kind of marketed a guest for the whole last 2 weeks. We talked about it. And then, I put up earlier today on our social media that, we're not going to have a guest. It's going to be kind of open mic. I can't tell you the amount of people just from the network that we've built from this show. The TTV Live Foundation is our ultimate goal, but the guest list that we've had and the industries that affect veterans getting out of the military, transitioning their families, all of the people that we've met that are on this list, we get on and talk on TikTok sometimes, or I do. I talk on TikTok sometimes about, what is our network like? But I have people that, the Garrison Sergeant Major for Fort Hood is in the chat here on TikTok. He's getting ready to retire. He has a powerful podcast where he talks about all things getting out of the military, transitioning, going in, so just relating. And he's having to change himself because, he's been in for, I think 30 something years, however long a Fort Hood Garrison Command Sergeant Major stays in, and he's having to learn the game. And I think his way of doing it is creating a new blueprint. And he is, he's a scheduled guest on our show. So the people that we're learning from every day. Mac Verdi hit me up and said, "Hey, since you don't have a guest, come on. We can talk about turbo vets. We can talk about mortgages, networking." And I think he said in the chat there, what'd he say? Vulnerability is key. I've often said about Mac Verdi, if you put him in a living room with somebody, he's gonna close them because he's that guy. He believes in the products he's doing, and I appreciate you there, Mac. I may send you a link here in a little bit once we get through what we're going to talk about. But yeah. I say all that to say this: I don't wax poetic much, but when I hear the things that you're doing with transitions and all the different business things that you're doing for us, and then also for yourself. Man, it makes me it makes me feel good that I feel like we're making a change. It may be small at this point, but we're still making a change and helping people in a completely benevolent way. Like, that makes me feel good as fuck. Shout out to Willie's Remedy. I
think I'm shouting Elijah Craig out, but whatever.
Yeah, this is the 159th show. I don't think I've ever, said, "Hey, good job, Ty." But damn, Al, Matt, Ty, good job. This has been
for sure
thus far.
Absolutely, man. I think what makes us unique, Ty, is that truly and honestly, we all and our guests and our audience and our followers, you can see this already. We still approach this every day as the hobby that it is, right? And what I mean by that, we are not concerned with being celebrities. Like, if you have a story to tell, we want to tell that story. If somebody can give a nugget of wisdom to somebody that can help them in their transition, that's kind of the way that it goes. And I feel good that for the last 3 years, and we're into year 4, like, we're not trying to do things over the top and different, right? You're not trying to do all of that. I just feel like the authenticity of what we do is what carries it, right? Like, it's real. Like, Al's wife has a birthday today and he's out eating dinner.
Yeah,
right? It is what it is.
Because
Exactly.
we're not this. I mean, this is not the main effort. This is a perk. This is the sprinkles and cherry on top. Being able to talk to the people we've been able to talk to. Like, let me give some shout outs real quick in TikTok. What's going on? Coffee Craze, plug the classics. Chris Franklin. I knew Sergeant Major Rhodes was in there. Matt, Teddy Fresher Than a Peppermint. I see you, boy. Teddy Fresher Than a Peppermint. I love it. Yeah, I appreciate y'all watching on TikTok. Be sure and like, subscribe, follow, send us off to some of your friends. Let them come here and check us out every Thursday. We're live at 7 p.m. Appreciate you.
Hell yeah, man, for sure. It just, like I said, it's been a great journey, man. I mean, going back to the Garrison Sergeant Major over at Fort Hood that's getting out, I wish that a lot more senior leaders that have the experience that he does would do more podcasts. And I wish that those senior level leaders would do podcasts about transition. And the reason I say that is we can talk about transition 100% all day long, our transition, but those Garrison guys and those command master chiefs like Damon Maxiel and and Don Massey, and we've had on the couple sergeant majors of the Army that came in. Those guys have seen this from the highest level, right? Because they are the go-between those young soldiers and sailors that are getting out, and they see all the things that happens and what comes up to get out and how that transitions. And I feel like once they transition, like you said, he's like, oh shit, I got to learn some new stuff. The thing that I always like to impress is I thought about this a couple years after I got retired. I was retired. And I was like, God damn, dude. Like, all of my senior level leaders were telling me how it should be when I got out. And then I sat back and went, none of those motherfuckers are out yet. Why was I like, that's a great idea?
Yeah, that's a great point that you make. I've heard you made it on the show to numerous people. Like, what the fuck do they know about getting out? So, you know, I appreciate that what Sergeant Major Rhodes, Garrison Sergeant Major, you know, Garrison level Sergeant Major, 06, you know, full bird colonel. He's asking people, you know, questions and making it humbling himself and being vulnerable, as Max said, being very vulnerable.
For sure.
What's up, Mike Shane? Starting on my shit right now. So, Mike, put in the comments there if you don't mind. What branch you served and how long you serving and when your actual, not your actual ETS date, but like what month you're actually getting out.
Yeah. I mean, it's, and that's the thing is when you have those, you know, and again, we can do it, and we do it all the time. We talk about people's transition and asking them how it goes for them and like what they did to get out. And the biggest kicker that I think we ask a lot of our guests is, what would you tell somebody that's getting out now? What would you tell them that you didn't like know or wish you would have done or whatever, things that are easy? What's the overwhelming answer that we get?
Well, I mean, we have 158 different answers because it's you know, it's a customized, you know, transition. But I'll tell you the things that I did wrong is, you know, I like Al says, I just thought someone was going to hire me. I leaned on my military experience and thought people would be falling over. So, you know, I think that was my biggest mistake. That's what I did when I first got out. So,
yeah, I know we've had a lot of people also say, document everything. Like, I know that you think right now, and it's crazy that you're still telling everybody this, because here's the thing, that warrior mindset, right? Of anyone that's serving, they're all going to have that mindset. No matter how much you tell those guys that they got to go do this or that and you should document it, they're still not going to fucking do it. Like, we can tell everybody to go do it, but that's also one. It's like, it's okay to go there, and then you hear the same things. Those guys are like, yeah, you say that now that you're out, but then you're like, it's so much easier if you do. And I don't know, man. Part of this thing that we're building, man, if you're in the Department of War out there and you're trying to figure out how to fix this fucking transition problem, you need to hire a whole bunch of veterans to come in to be mentors for these guys that are getting out of the military. Not mentors to tell them how to get 100% fucking disability rating. There's enough companies that are charging too much money to do that. And there's enough service officers and all these veteran organizations that can help you. You need mentors and guys to do it like Jason Redmond's doing. This is how we're going to get you a job. This is how you do your resume. This is how you do an interview. This is how you go network, right? You want to start your own business? Here's the contacts at the SBA. Like, you need to bring these veterans that are successful in business and have done these things. Just open the fucking checkbook and start paying these dudes to come in and do transition classes, Soldier for Life, TGPS, whatever it is. We should go into those rooms and go, hey, this is what you need to know. It's going to fucking suck. You're going to feel lost when you get out there, but don't worry. All you have to do is Google in your area, veteran networking meetups. They're out there all the time. Go to your American Legion, go to your VFW, find a DAV, find an organization that has a whole bunch of veterans in it and get around those guys, right? That makes you comfortable and it kind of helps you. And then, you know, there's a whole bunch of resources. Like in my journey the last couple of weeks. So in Houston, we have in Houston specifically an organization. Ty, have you heard of the CIVI?
Yeah. So
the CIVI, run by Hal Fisher, Air Force veteran, also a recruiter, professional liar, my man, is started and sold a whole bunch of businesses. And he started this networking group called the CIVI, free. You ain't got to pay shit. But if you go somewhere where they serve food, you got to buy your own. But it's the ability to bring a whole bunch of veterans together to just go in a room and talk shit with each other for 2 hours. It's not even nothing. So I went to one of these and I was like, damn. Like, it just walk in the room and you're instantly, everybody's talking to each other. And the thing that I saw in this networking arena over others, after you were like, yeah, I was in the Navy, no more, right? It was, well, what do you do now? What kind of things are you doing, and how do you do it? And, oh, you do that now? What got you into that? Or how can I help you? Or that's interesting. You know, it was all about, what are you doing right now? And, or what are you looking to do? How can I help you get there? Or, I know this guy. It was being back in the military and getting the fucking hookup, dude. You know what I mean? You were getting the hookup to go to the next thing because everybody in them was helping. And so then what I found with that one is it led to all these others, right? Like, I went to this other veteran networking at the Social House in Tomball on Tuesday. I met a whole bunch of West Pointers. They were cool. Don't worry. They were cool. And met Navy guys. One of my new good friends on the rodeo committee with me, Rosie Jordan, another realtor in Houston, was there with her husband, and like all these people that are just talking. And again, it was the same thing I noticed, right? Oh, this is what I do. This is what I do. Well, how can we help each other? That's it. Traded some stories, right? But the thing I found in those networking sessions, when you get a whole bunch of those veterans together, a lot of these guys have been in their own business for a long time, or they're working in companies where they've kind of climbed the ladder. And it's just refreshing to go in to talk to a whole bunch of veterans that are focused on their future, not what they did in the past. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Not a bad thing, but it shouldn't be the only thing you lead off with. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I mean, in my experience, like I had to just throw myself into doing something. So whether it was with the VFWs, planning cook-offs in the barbecue culture, I had to throw myself into something so that I would feel like, you know, it was a bit of chaos. People often say that I thrive in chaos. And when things aren't chaotic, I don't know how to act sometimes. So I threw myself into planning events, and before you know it, you're just beating yourself up because you're head down and you're not actually networking and getting to know the people next to you that can make this job easier, that can make that job easier. And I think over the last, you know, probably with this podcast, it kind of makes you realize that, you know, we can break a lot of eggs here, but we can fry up a pretty nice breakfast with the people we have if we make the best of it. And I'm excited just from your explanation of as soon as you walk in, you're talking to somebody. Like I want that. You know, I crave that, to be around other veterans that, you know, one, served their country, two, decided to get out for whatever reason, and then now they're trying to make it in the world. And I like working for myself, so I definitely love veteran-owned businesses like yourself. Like, let me ask you this before I get too far. When people ask you, what do you do? Like you said, what do you say? Because you do so much. Like, what is your lead? Is it like basically whatever kind of environment you're in, or you just tell them everything?
Yeah, I think it really it's environment dependent, right? I'm doing really at this moment 3 different things, right? There's 3 things, not including the podcast, because the podcast, we bring the guests on, maybe people doing that. But if we're talking 3 things that you're dove into every day, jumping in, there's 3 things I do. So it does depend on the audience that I'm in, right? So obviously this Saturday, 4 to 8, we're at Project Halo, and I'm making hats, custom hat bar. Well, I'm there to make hats and do apparel. If you need that, that's what I'm there to do, right? Or if I go to, it depends on the style of networking event too, you know, on whether I'm going to lead with that I do real estate now, or I do, you know, the apparel, right? And then I always, no matter which one of those I'm doing, I always mention Becky's art business, because she's building and growing as well, right? And I want everyone to see her art. Like, I love it. It's behind me. You can see it like that right there. You can't just do that. That doesn't happen just because you want it to. You know what I mean? And I watched her paint the painting, and I've seen her do these things, and 25 years next year of marriage, I'm an artist and I can draw. I was like, that's cool. And then she did. And I was like, damn, for real, you can do it. So it's just, it depends
years?
on the arena that I'm in, basically.
Hey, big shout out to 25 years, man. That's fucking amazing.
Yeah, right? She is a saint, dude. I'm just saying.
Well,
yeah. It depends, Ty. And so as I go into those, right, we're our podcast and Got Your Six are members of the Veteran Chamber of Commerce in Houston, right?
Right.
So I always go to the Chamber of Commerce meetings. I represent Got Your Six in those meetings. You know what I mean? But we've had one guy from the chamber on our podcast. A couple of people know about it. So I get asked about it all the time. And I tell those people all the time, you just got to send me a message if you want to be on, and we'll go from there. And we've had a couple people at these chamber networking events that are coming up on the show, a couple of them that help veterans in very big ways.
Speaking of people that help veterans in very big ways, big shout out to John motherfucking Smith on TikTok over here. I guess that's what the MF stands for. John Smith does a lot of great things for veterans in the greater Houston area.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Go ahead, bro.
I can't see TikTok at all, so good for you. I can't see it.
Yeah. He said, "What's up, bro?" Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's it's just been interesting, dude. It's interesting. And the thing that I've taken away from it for the last couple of weeks for all of our veterans out there that are transitioning, or you're always trying to find your purpose. Like, that's the biggest thing we hear all the timers, right? I got to find my purpose. I got to find the thing that brings me back to feeling like I'm making a difference, or I'm worthy, I guess you would say, right? You're looking for that warrior acknowledgement that you got when you were in.
Yeah,
like put yourself out there, man. This is just
tribe.
What's that?
Finding your tribe.
Yeah, but you have to do just like we tell our kids. You want to meet new people? You have to put yourself in the position to meet new people. You want to make a difference? You got to put yourself in the position to go make a difference, right? And forever, I was just like you and Al, right? Like, I've done this career, I've got this resume, I've done a good job. But when I was in, like, why am I struggling to do all these things? And the reality is, you're not putting yourself out there to make yourself marketable, right? Like, yes, you have every skill set to do it. You need to learn how to talk about it, though. And it's not throw it all out there, right? Like, it's a 30-second commercial that you have to give. And I'm not saying, I've been to a lot of networking events where people have their 30-second commercial down and they give you this 30-second commercial. It's not how I would give it. I just stand up and tell people, depending where I'm at, like, hey, I'm Matt. I own Got Your Six, or I'm a realtor, whatever. If you need to buy, sell, or rent a house, then you can come talk to me today. Done. That's it. I don't have a gimmick or a big, to go on. Hey, I make apparel. If you want to look good, feel good, and show people what you're all about, then that's what we can do to help you. And I would love to talk to you. That's it. It's like 30 seconds. Like, I don't want to talk a long time, because you really also, when you go to these networking events, you need to start off and just be straight into the point, so that it makes people want to come and be like, oh, well, tell me more about what you do. If you give some elaborate pitch about what you're doing and it's got all these like trendy keywords and it, it's rehearsed, I feel like sometimes people think they know everything you do already. There's no like, okay, I got it. You're like, hey, I make apparel. If you want to learn more, come talk to me.
So you're trying to be a international man of mystery?
I guess kind of is what you want to do, right? You want people to come up to you and talk to you, but the other key to that too is you have to immediately go and talk to people too. People want to tell you what they do. That's the thing. When you go to networking events, it's not the junior high dance anymore. Guys aren't on one side, girls on the other side. They both really want to go talk to each other, but we're just scared to introduce the conversation. In those networking events, everybody wants to talk to you, and you would be shocked. And I think a lot of veterans would be shocked at how many job opportunities you create yourself if you're looking, just by going to networking events. Oh, I'm actually looking for a job right now. What do you do? Well, this is the skill set I have. This is what I've been applying to. I'm not hearing back. And I've seen so many people go, hold on, send a message, guy calls or gets a text back, and now this person's talking to someone, in a couple of weeks for the opportunity to get a job. I'm not saying they got the job, but their foot got in the door to talk to somebody that might be able to help them, right? Just put yourself out there. If you're not getting the opportunities, you got to create them. And that's the best. And for what we've been doing the last couple of weeks, I've seen a lot of results from that. I'm not, by any stretch of the imagination, we're not setting the world on fire over here yet, but it's going in a great direction. You know, we met a lot of cool people.
Yeah, I mean, like people ask me all the time, though. Hey, Ty, you know, how's the podcast going? How's So Smoking Gooder show? You know, what are you guys up to these days? And most of the time, I tell them, you know, we're not even monetized. We don't run ads really. I think we run ads at times, but we make like $5 to $10 a month on our reels, you know, and I think we've got 500,000 views on YouTube and not on one reel, on the everything, and then somewhere in the 400s on Facebook reels. So, you know, we're a small enterprise, but like I'll say this again, and I'll keep saying this: the network that we've created for industry things the veteran needs. I think I forgot to tell you what I was saying before. I got on TikTok and just started asking people, ask me any question, ask me anything about any scenario that you would face post military service as a veteran, any branch, any part of the country. And, you know, people would ask me questions and I'd be like, okay, maybe I don't know anyone in Portland, Oregon, but, you know, and I was just testing myself. We've covered a lot of people. And because of the organizations that we've been involved with together, I've been involved with individually, man, it's a huge network. And before you know it, after, you know, 9 years of being out of the military, I mean, we've got our finger on the pulse of what's going on. But again, like we're not what's the word? We're not diluting ourselves. We're keeping our mission pretty pure, and that's what's cool to me.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I was saying earlier about how we're still doing it the way that we're doing it. And to be honest, scratching the surface, dude. It there's so much more out there. If you just think about all the people we've met and all the people that do the things they do that we have met, and we keep trying to introduce them to people and they introduce us to people and talking to all of them, you know, it's amazing to see how it takes shape. And Mac Verdi's comment here for all you veterans out there, 15 years and things are starting to take shape. There's a couple things I'm going to tell you on this. If you want to work in a company, W-2, make money, get a job, and still work for someone, then you can make it in a couple of years. It's going to happen. Like, you're going to be good. Your leadership and your attention to detail and your punctuality and your accountability and your integrity, all that stuff's going to carry you in a corporate structured environment, as long as you get into the right job and you're in the right fit. And it may take you a little bit to get there, but you're going to be okay. But if you want to be an entrepreneur as a veteran, that shit's hard, man. 15 years, that's not uncommon. And I know from when we talked to Mac Verdi, he's done multiple things in 15 years and had to learn a whole bunch of hard lessons, same as all of us have. 5 years. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing. For 5 years. You're going to bang your head against the wall. You know,
I think our man Joe Rogan said that, right, about his podcast.
Oh, well, his podcast he said it was an accident.
Yeah, we're just going to have shaky legs for 5 years, do whatever we want to, and then hopefully it'll become something, you know.
Yeah, and he was like, and in his, I believe in his description of something was like, hopefully people listen to it. That's it. Right. He didn't. I feel like we approach it the same way. You know what I mean? Like, that's cool. You want to come on and see it? That's fine. You want to join in? That's okay. But we're not looking to change your opinion or make you think a different way. We're just trying to tell stories, right? Or give you resources that are going to help you out. So that's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, big shout out to everybody still watching on TikTok. I see John over there. He said, yes, sir. He finished the Conroe food distribution a little while ago. And he says he kind of backed you up on your point. Finding your mission is so important. Volunteering helps find your new mission after service. And he's like, Ty, brother, I guess he's talking to both of us now. Brother, keep fighting the good fight. Give me the buzz. Yeah, we'll have to get him on and talk about all this good stuff he's doing. But I wanted to you were mentioning Mac Verdi. Mac Verdi's been a guest on the show before, and he knows a lot of the network that you and I know. Like he's basically getting our old band back together, and they're about to they're tuning up the band right now. So let's bring Mac Verdi on to talk about some of the things he's got going on.
There
What's up, Mac?
he is. It's still daylight in Florida, bro.
No, I got LE lighting, man. I'm good.
You're lying. The beach is still sunny out there. I already know, bro.
Mac Verdi and I sat right here in this room when we first kind of started some of this stuff, and we used to like try to get the he would film things and we would cut them out, and then we were trying everything. Look how professional this dude looks now. Go ahead with your bad self, Mac.
I think I got to figure it out 15 years later, right? I mean, that's the fucking hustle, right? Like our whole lives, we come out, like you said earlier, Ty. You think just because we have a DD214, guys are jumping all over, they want to hire veterans, but unfortunately, that's not the case. You know, we got to go out there, we got to fight, we got to prove ourselves, you know, with regular jabronis and everybody else out there. And it's hard, man. Life's not easy. You know, if it was easy, everybody would be winning. That's how I look at it. And, you know, things, gratefully, in the last 2 or 3 years, things have, you know, gotten a lot better. Recently, as you know, I'm part of the advisory board for Turbo Vets with Jason Redmond and all them. And that's a blessing. You know, they have a great opportunity to really help veterans out there. And I'm grateful to be part of it, you know, with the whole mortgage thing and the industry that we're doing now, and bringing everybody on because they see what we're doing and how we could really help our active duty and our veterans out there with the VA home loan. And, you know, I'm just in a really good spot, man. It's been a rough last year and a half, but it's all coming together. And I'm fucking, I wake up at 4:00 every morning, just like, I jump out of bed, man. I can't wait for the next day. Because, I mean,
what were some of the things that you did when you first started, though? You got out of the military 15 years ago. What were some of the networking events that you did, and some of the things that you would support, and things that you'd be like, no, that shit's not worth it?
You know, I was kind of like you, Ty. Like in the beginning, I was always in the back of the room, right? I always felt like I'm not here to make friends. But then as I got older and, you know, realized that everybody had a place, you know, I started being more upfront with people and introducing myself and talking to more people. And now when I look at going into a room, I kind of want to like meet everybody. Everybody has a story. Everybody's different. And I want to give my story to them and hear their story and see how we could work together, especially when it comes to networking, right? Matt, like you said, you have, you know, got your 6, right? Like everybody needs a t-shirt. Like, look at me right now. We're paying a lot of money for this shit for some company I don't even know about at Loan Depot that make our stuff for us. So like, hey, like there's opportunities everywhere. And now for me, it's like getting into the next room, getting into the bigger room, getting into like, for instance, Turbo Vets, right? Look at that advisory board. I'm the only guy that doesn't have a book on that whole advisory board. Right? And that's why I said, I'm like, bro, you want me on I don't have a book. Like,
I can't even read, dude.
I'm not a Navy SEAL. I'm not an astronaut. I'm not a Medal of Honor guy. But I appreciate you for bringing me in there for, you know, my perspective and the advocacy I've been doing the last couple of years for the VA home loan. You know, with going on Capitol Hill last year, that was a huge like eye opener. You know, what they're trying to do with our veterans. And, you know, there's a big monument dish today, actually, with this whole TAC fact where they're trying to take active duty soldiers, you know, they're trying to increase the funding fee on the VA home loan to pass that money off to other veteran organizations or other veteran opportunities. And when you talk to people, it's like, hey, that's only affecting the active duty soldier. That's not affecting our veterans, because we have at least 10% disability, so we don't pay for the funding fee. So there's a lot of things out there that I'm proud to be behind. There's a lot of organizations that I've been brought into in the last year that, you know, I'm traveling a lot. Like I leave Sunday, I'm going to DC. I'm playing in the Commander's Cup for a golf tournament. You know, I'm going to be with some big dudes out there. Like there's a lot of good things going on, but like from a veteran talking to other veterans out there listening, you have to make your own luck. You have to be out there. You have to be present. You know, PTSD is a real thing. I have it 100%, right? That's what they pay me for. But I have a big nut every month too. If my back's against the wall every single month, how am I going to pay my bills? I'm not thinking about my PTSD. I'm thinking about how am I keeping my lights on? How am I keeping my kids in school? How am I doing everything that I need to do to be, you know, into it, right? Instead of just sitting back, taking my $4,500 a month from the VA and my 10 pills a day. Like, I don't do that shit. So
yeah,
I'm a big believer in we have to make our own luck. And, you know, listen, I'm here because I've had a lot of people to help me to get here. I've borrowed, I've done everything just to keep my shit going. But people believed in me, and it seems like it's all coming together. You know, I've had some successful things in the past, but as you know, Matt, as a business owner, like I've had 40 companies, 37 of them have been absolute failures and cost me a ton of money. But now it's like shit's growing. Now I'm at a company that believes in me personally, that supports me, and we're doing some fantastic things. I got some other things I'm doing too that are growing. You know, they're bubbling, they're sizzling, right? The chili sizzles on the fajitas, and it's going to work out. So, I mean, I love what you guys do, obviously. I love Ty like a brother. So it's like, you know, when I saw this opportunity, I was like, bro, I'm watching your podcast. Fucking bring me on.
Yeah. So I got a question for you, Mac. Expound a little bit more on what you meant by I'm always trying to get into the next room, because I think a lot of people have heard that before, but a lot of people don't realize that sometimes the next room is the first room, or the next room could be the room that just gives you the contact to talk to someone. And it's like the movie National Treasure. Everything is a clue to the next thing, but not the end result. Walk people through what you mean by I'm always trying to get into the next room.
So for instance, like I'm a big believer in you're a product of your environment, right? All my friends are members of country clubs. I play golf a lot. I play at ridiculous country clubs. I'm in those country clubs because of somebody, but I'm with other people that are super wealthy, super smart, super business people. I'm just feeding off them, right? I'm eating off their little bits of information and what they do and how they do it. And I'm like, this guy's a regular guy from Michigan who started off with nothing. How did he get here? Right. So that's my thing. Like I'm in a great position right now with, again, turbo vets. Like these guys once I made the board, everybody started emailing me, congrats, come here. And these are people's books that I've read. These are like guys that are like American heroes. Right. And it's like, I'm always trying to be in front of that guy. Right? The guy that is the best in the room. Why not? Right? We all put our pants on the same way. That might go back to my PSD days when you're sitting with a regimental sergeant major who I'm protecting, who's in charge of 25,000 soldiers in combat. We're the same guy. At the end of the night, after our mission, we're going to eat and we're going to talk like guys. Like nobody's different. We all bleed red. We're all humans. What is that one thing that got them to where they're at? And that's what I always try to figure out. That's what I always try to, like, I'm like, listen, Ty would tell you, I'm 2 degrees probably from anybody in this country, from the president all the way down. And it's like, how can I get in that room? How can I be that person? Like, what did they do different that I haven't done yet? Or what have they learned? And I just grasp that knowledge, right? I'm always asking questions. I'm very vulnerable. I'm very humble because I want to get to the next level. Mm-hmm. What that next level is, who knows? I just want to have.
I want to make a correction, Matt. I think you're benevolent. I don't know how humble you are. I know that we both have big egos, and man, I'm telling you, the humbleness, sure, but you are benevolent. I appreciate that you're constantly trying to help other people. Like that's the biggest thing I see from you.
I was going to ask a question on that though, Mac. Like you said that you're humble and you're trying to learn and you're listening to all these guys. But the question that I have for you, and I might be asking a question that's crazy or that's never, how many times did you have to fail before you realized you needed to be around people that were successful to learn what they did and know that just your hard work and ethic alone wasn't going to get you there. Like you had to surround yourself by successful people, right? We hear all the time that you're a product of your environment, but we still stay in the wrong place all the time. Is that how it worked? Did you have to like experience those failures in order to learn that? Or what was the moment that for you it turned to go, this is the direction I need to go?
So that's a great question, actually. So like, for instance, I used to work out at a gym in the morning that cost $25 a month. Now I go to a gym that costs $350 a month. But I go to that gym because everybody around me is somebody who could afford $350 a month easily. If I can or if I can't, whatever. These are people now that, hey, what's going on, man? And then those conversations leads into, what do you do? Oh, I do this, I do that, Oh, what's that bracelet you're wearing? Oh, I'm a veteran. This is my gunner that got killed, whatever. And they're like, oh shit, you're in the Army? That starts a whole trajectory of questions, right? So me in the corporate world, when I'm in these places and I mention, oh yeah, I'm a veteran, they're like, oh, when did you serve? 02 to 09, right? Like now, that's a long time ago. I should be retired. Oh, did you go anywhere? Did you do anything cool? I'm like, yeah, I deployed to Iraq twice. Then they're like, oh, when did you go? I'm like, well, when Bush was on TV, I was with the 101st, we deployed, came home for 9 months, and then I went to Baghdad when Baghdad was fucking nuts. And then I get that trust. I get that respect, right? And then that starts the conversations like, what are you doing now? And then guys that have Fortune 500 companies, billionaires, whatever, like, how can I help you? What do you need from me? Like, I got 5 billionaires on my cell phone right now. 5. And that's just through me networking and starting these connections and being in that bigger room, right? And getting into that room is the hardest part, but once you get in there, it's the easiest part. Just because they have money doesn't mean shit. But because of our service and what we've done, it's really well respected. And you got that, right? Everything we've done, like, we raised our hand. We went to war. These dudes never did. They've never been to shit, right? Like, look at my backdrop right now. When I'm on Zoom calls, I had a lady today. I was on a Zoom call. First time I met her. She's like, thank you for your service. I'm like, oh, no problem. She's like, what's that behind you? I see your military coins. I'm like, oh, that's my map of Baghdad, Oh, what's that thing over there? I'm like, that's a Bronze Star. You got a Bronze Star? Oh, shit. And that just opens up everything, right? So it's getting in a room and telling your story, but being very humble about it. And then people want to know more about you. And then that brings back that more about them type thing, which has worked.
Yeah.
Has worked
Well,
really
that's true.
well.
I also think that it's important for people to know too, that people that have money and success, despite whatever you may think about them, want to help you succeed too. Once you get in that room and you're like, hey, I'm here now. I'm trying to build this thing. This is what I'm working on. I don't know how many times successful people are like, well, what are you struggling with right now? And then 8 out of 10 people are just like, I don't know. And then they tell them, well, that's your problem. You have no idea what you're struggling with. It's hard because you don't. And then they start to walk you down the road of, well, this is how I laid it out. And this is what I learned. And they start to walk you through the mistakes they made and how to kind of overcome those. And if you've dealt with this, right? Or, oh, this is what you do. Talk to this guy. They had that. And then before you know it, you're in a room with this guy that's super successful, but now you've been connected with 2 people that he runs close circles with that are always also successful. And because you've met this person successful, now you're talking to these guys. Everybody is now willing to talk, help. And I don't know about you, Mac, but if I've been in a room with like truly successful people, nobody's ever looked at me like, what the fuck is this guy doing in here? It's like, what can we do to help him? You know what I mean? Like, but you have to go in there hungry and willing to learn too. And that's why I was asking about, was there something specific that happened in your journey that you've been on where you were like, I should probably ask more questions and learn more? Because we were talking about earlier, I don't know if you were on yet, where we'll go in and we'll go to networking events as veterans, and then we spit our whole story out, and you just look at the person, and they're just like, well, that was fucking fun, and I never want to do it again. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh, shit. So it's like you got to be a sponge, right? Pretend like you're back in boot camp. You don't know shit, and they're there to mentor and train you. But we feel like we don't need that because we did the military, right? Not to saying that's a bad thing, but there's more to learn.
So there's an organization out there called VREP, right? And I'm sure you heard about it, Matt. Veteran Association of Real Estate Professionals. And Ty will tell you. 3 years ago, I went to their first national convention in Orlando. Colors come out, anthem, everybody's standing up. It's all patriotic. It's like, yeah, this is fucking great. And then it was like, hey, if you're an active duty soldier or a veteran, please keep standing. You know, we want to recognize you. 90% of that room sat down.
Yep.
And I looked at the table next to me. I'm standing there. I'm like, you're not veterans? I'm like, no, we're patriots. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Like you're eating off that veteran word to help in your real estate and your business, but you're not a veteran. What's a patriot, right? You're not a spouse of a military veteran. Like, this is nuts. And I like, that was my first like aha moment. Like, hey, there's a lot of predatory lending. There's a lot of predatory people using that word veteran out there. You know, as you know, I'm in the lending space and I recruit a lot of people. And I see guys that are killing it in the VA space. And I'll message them like, hey, brother, are you a veteran? When did you serve? I don't see anything on your LinkedIn. No, I'm not. Really? Okay, I got it. But it's like, that was my big aha moment. And then like now, like I have a lot of opportunities where I'm at now to go to like other places and speak and you know, speak about what we do and how we actually talk about financial literacy and help veterans with, you know, their VA home loan, and especially active duty guys where you can buy one house, PCS, buy another house, all that stuff. And it's been good. It's been a fucking grind, I got to tell you, for the last 2 or 3 years, where it's been pretty ridiculous. But at the same time, now it's like all coming together because I've been in those rooms. I've met a lot of people. I have a lot of friends who are the who in our world on social media and across everywhere. You know, I got invited to a lot of things this year that were really cool. I turned them down because I didn't want to go to it, right? Like the UFC fight in the White House lot. I was like, yeah, I mean, can I bring my kids? And they're like, no, just you. I'm like, I don't think I want to deal with that. But knowing that invitation was there, knowing that like somebody was like, hey, you need to get involved with this. And then aligning myself with a lot of organizations that really help veterans and vetted them out, right? Like Tom Satterley is a good friend of mine. I just did his mortgage 4 months ago. He has a very good foundation. Josh Payton owns Veteran Golf Association, the VGA, 45,000 members. And these guys all connect because they play golf Friday, Saturday, Sunday in mini tournaments across the country. I got involved in that. I'm a big golfer, so I started playing in that. That's camaraderie. That's getting you in the room, right? And then going to these conferences like MIC, a military influencer conference, is coming up in September in Tampa. Like, I'm going to that. That room's the who's who of who. So to be able to get out there and just like talk and like walk up to somebody like a Redmond or a Rob O'Neill or somebody like, hey, what's up, brother? I appreciate what you do. That starts the conversation, right? You can't be scared to walk up to somebody and not tell them your story, right? Because when they hear our story of what we did and that, like, what we've done is something. You guys are retired. You've been in the military for 20 something years each. Like, that's a big fucking deal. People respect that, especially at the higher level. Guys that own these corporations, these companies, they want people like us when they know who we really are in our story, and that we're talking to them, not looking to get an angle on them or try to like use them for something, but become friends. And then that friendship evolves into bigger things. Like, I met a guy, an NBA Hall of Famer, Alonzo Mourning, a year and a half ago. I play golf with this guy like once a month now. I just texted him. He texted me an hour and a half ago. Like, hey, he's like, what's up, brother? You in town next week? Yeah, I am. Let's play golf. Like, that's not because of, that's just an opportunity to happen. And we started texting. He calls me on Veterans Day. Hey, man, I appreciate your service. These are people that I've connected with because of who I am personally and me wanting to know their story and how did they get to that level, right? How did Petraeus get the 4 stars? He's just the guy. But he had that 1% mentality. you know. And I think I've learned that with my daughters, you know, playing. I have twin daughters that play soccer. I've always told them, even though they're the worst kids on the team, well, they're like mediocre. I always told them after the game, like, you're the best fucking kids. You should have been playing in that game. Their mindset was always, I'm the best. Yeah. So I gave them the tools to be successful. Now they're both on the same team playing D1 soccer, and they're starting sophomore year. So it's like, how did that happen? Because they thought they were the best, so they trained to be the best in their brain, right? Everything's mental. If you go in a room and you think like, oh, like this is a waste of time, you might as well just go home. But if you go in a room and say like, hey, this is my opportunity to talk to all these people, if they're paid to be there, they're going to talk to you. But then you start your story. And what's our story? I served in the military. This is what I did. People are going to give you that respect, and they're going to open a door to you all day.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I love
That's
it.
how it works, man.
Yeah, be sure and let Tom Satterley know that we want him to be on the show. We've been in communication with him for a couple of years. We want to talk about the All Secure Foundation that he runs with his wife. That's a great organization.
I'll connect you with Jen. Jen runs the show. Lone Depot is a sponsor of their Operation Homefront. So yeah, that should be an easy day.
See,
networking.
We just did it right here.
Yeah, no, but see, that's the kicker, Mac, is people find every reason to make things hard, right? We all do. We're human beings. That's just the way that it works. It's just so frustrating that veterans in service, if they would have told us in service, you can't go, do, have, or think about whatever, guess what the fuck was happening that day? We were going there. We were doing that. We were thinking about it, and we were definitely going to have it. Because no was not an option, or getting to the next whatever was not an option. You figured it out. Huge problem solvers. You get out of the military, one civilian says your resume sucks, and now you're like, my fucking world's gone. Like, what happened? What happened? Like, and the reality is you don't have your support network around you anymore. You don't have the guy to your left and your right that went out there with you. And so that's why for me today, talking about networking is go find it. Right. Google where there's a veteran networking event. I guarantee you there's a whole bunch of successful veterans going to that you can talk to, that can help you, that can do these things. You just can't sit around and fucking complain about it, man. If you want to be about it, you gotta go make it happen, right? Don't just talk about it, be about it, right? It's just frustrating to see so many people that were so great at overcoming any obstacle get out and struggle, right? And I say that as someone who did that when they got out, right? Struggled as well, and now realizing, oh, idiot, all you had to do was just go ask somebody a question, and in some cases ask for help. That's the other piece. Like, you ain't gonna get none of this shit on your own. It's hard, man. Starting a business, working in a corporation, going out and doing those things. When you're talking to these successful people and you're getting advice from them and you're getting those nuggets of wisdom, you're asking them for help, and they're more than willing to give it to you. Just go do it, right? That's the biggest thing is don't worry about what the consequences are, right? We were taught in the military and as young kids, what's the best way to learn how to do something? Fail at it.
Yeah.
You have to make mistakes to learn what not to do. And fortunately, successful people are willing to tell you the shit they fucked up so you don't have to do it going forward. It's amazing.
Like Ty will tell you, like, I've done so many things, from starting a sunglass company, which was an absolute failure, to, you know, get involved with the handcuff company that I had a good exit at, then a body armor company, which went great. And then now getting into, you know, the VA loan space in the last 4 years. Starting where I was, it was a great learning about the business, right? Seeing somebody who brought me on was like, hey, you're pretty big in the veteran space. We could do VA home loans. But not knowing what his ultimate goal was. My goal was to help veterans. His goal was to make money. So once we realized that, we parted our ways, and now I'm where I'm at today. And it's asking the questions, right? Like getting into the room, like you got to be vulnerable. Like I said that earlier, I made that comment. You have to be vulnerable, and you have to go up to, who you look up to and be like, hey man, my name's Mac. Like, nice to meet you. And like, I'm an Army veteran. I always say I'm a combat veteran. I love what you're doing. I appreciate you for helping veterans if they do or don't, right? They're like, oh, okay, great. And then they start that conversation, right? And that's what we have to do. We have to get in there. We have to get front and center, and we have to talk about who we are, because those guys that are making a lot of money respect that. 1%ers of this country are military veterans and D1 college athletes, because we have camaraderie, we have work ethic, we know how to be part of a team, and we know how to make shit work, right? Or we find the answer together. Big corporations are looking for that. Now, special ops, they have SODA, they have all these organizations that like grab these guys and help them and push them out. But regular military, like, we got to do our own thing. We got to figure it out. So it's like, how do we do that? And like, I got involved with IAVA about 2 years ago, Iraq Afghanistan Veterans Association. 450,000 members that are all GWAT, all served after 9/11 or joined the military after 9/11. They asked me to be part of their cohort a year ago. I have a bond of 15 people that are on Capitol Hill for like a week that are just like badass people that have the belief I have, that are hustlers, that are business people, that are front and center in their communities. I'm going to the Commanders Cup next week on Sunday from somebody I met in that cohort. He's like, hey, you're a pretty good golfer. Come out to this. Now I'm playing golf with the deputy director of the VA for the state of Maryland. Like, that's a big deal in my world. So it's getting involved in this stuff and really, putting ourselves out there, being vulnerable, but letting people know who we are and why we're here. And somebody that's really successful is not like, you're not a threat. They just want to help you and build you up. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, but before we go any further, I want to make sure that I get this in. I was writing some notes here. If there was ever a chance for me to play in a foursome golf round with the president, I know that Mac Verdi is going to be the one that gets me that round. But so that's for that higher level he's talking about, and influence and leveraging yourself to make your business successful. All the people that the mortgage industry meant a lot to me. I didn't like a lot of the infighting that was going on with it. So, because of how I'm tempered, I had to kind of get out of it. But the people that I trust in the mortgage industry, David Smith, Matt Duhan, Danny Archer, Jeff Ford, these are all people that Mac Verdi is working with right now, And so it's, I love that.
It's the OG team, bruh.
They all came to the dark side.
Yeah, I was working at Mutual of Omaha, and Matt came to me and had this idea, and it was. I'll let you tell you what the idea was. You wanted to be the new USAA, and you're really stepping in to build that. Like you do so much for veterans. I appreciate that, but yeah, all those people you work with, talk about them real quick.
Yeah, so as you know, about 3.5 years ago, I had somebody showed me the veteran world with the VA home loan, right? When I sold my body armor company, I wanted to stay home. I wanted to be with my family. My girls were going out. They had games every weekend. I was missing all that shit. I started a credit repair company, and in 4 months, I had 440 members, all veterans, wanted to fix their credit. And my first question was to them, I was like, why do you want to fix your credit? They're like, we want to use our VA home loan. Well, there was a guy in my daughter's school who was the big mortgage guy down here. I had a conversation with him. I was feeding him the leads. He gave me he gave me a nice little referral fee. We started a company. And then I was like, Ty, what do you like? Me and Ty always connected. He's like, dude, this is what I do. So then me and Ty connected, and I brought Ty on for a while. And then we brought Jeff Ford in to give these classes, and we started to build something. But my partner wasn't that guy. He wasn't a veteran. He didn't get it. Guys were leaving because they didn't like him. And it was like, hey, I understand the back end of the story. I know how the back end here now works. Let me do this on my own. So I went to another place for about 9 months. And then Loan Depot, my buddy Brian Bargins at Loan Depot reached out to me, who I met through Josh Payton, who runs the VGA, right? It's all these connections. Me and Brian were friends for a couple of years. We would always talk. I gave him a call. He's like, yo, come to Loan Depot. Like, we'll take care of you. And I came here, started a branch. And now, you know, we're doing really good numbers. Like numbers I could only have dreamed of when I started this thing, right? You know, I'd be happy to do $3-4 million a month in loans. Now I'm doing 5-6 times that a month. And then all these other players that I've always talked to, like Danny Archer, or, you know, Jeff Ford used to work for us, Ty and I. You know, he's coming back into the mix. And Duhan and David Smith. David Smith travels around for Loan Depot and does the master classes, the VA master classes. So now that I have a publicly traded company that believes in what I'm doing, backing me 100%, giving me the keys to the car to be like, hey, Verdi, we believe in you. Do your shit. Now I'm doing it, and now I'm proving myself, right? So now we're helping, you know, the loans that we're closing. We don't care about credit score. We care about your situation, you know, which is great because everybody else, you know, you got to have a 600, 620 credit score. Dude, if you have a 550 because you got a divorce 6 months ago, but I could look at your payment history now and you're back on track and that life incident screwed you and fucked up your credit, guess what? We don't care about that. We care about that veteran and that soldier. We'll get you in the house if we know you could afford it. And to have all those tools available that we have is a blessing, and we're just growing. And I'm getting killers like Danny and you know, I got a guy, Scott McIntyre in DC, that's going to do $70 million this year. He came to my team. He did $35 million last year. Why? Because I'm his sergeant major. I give him all the ammo. I give him all the bullets and beans he needs to be successful. And that's why I tell everybody on my team when I recruit, like, you don't want me to be a loan officer because I'm going to take your business. I don't care where it is. I'm going to get all your business. But you want me to help you grow your business because you make money. I make money. But at the end of the day, we're helping veterans at a different level. That's growing. Now what comes into play? Turbo Vets, right? Turbo Vets is an app that every active duty soldier is going to download. On that app, there's going to be a VIA home loan marketplace. There's only 3 lenders on that marketplace. Loan Depot is one of them because of my relationships, because of who I am. Then I connect Loan Depot with all the other people that I'm connected with. Redmond calls me and is like, hey, brother, you know, we want to give you a spot on our advisory board. And that's why I made that comment. I'm like, bro, I don't have a book. Like, I'm not your guy. He's like, no, you are our guy and you're going to help us grow. And now I'm like, cool, right? That was an aha moment. Like, okay, I'm here. I'm at the dance. Now let's take advantage of it. So growing everything that we're growing and what we're doing. And this isn't, you know, I'm not here to do a mortgage commercial or anything like that. But at the end of the day, I'm in that place where we can help a lot of veterans. And
that speaks to exactly what we're talking about, Mac. We got on, you know, we had no guests. We started talking about networking, and then all of a sudden you're talking about some good shit. And that is the epitome of networking is what you've done since you got out. Yeah.
My network runs deep. You know, if you're like, Ty's like, hey, I need so-and-so on my podcast, give me a week. I probably know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, you know? And this all goes back to a relationship I started with a guy named David Rutherford, who started the podcast Team Never Quit with Marco Cottrell. I became friends with him because our kids played soccer together. We connected, we became very good friends, and he started introducing me to all these people. Next thing you know, I'm at the Charlie Daniels Journey Home Foundation at a table with Sean Ryan and Eddie Gallagher. Now I'm good friends with both of those guys, right? So it's like, well, Eddie Gallagher I'm good friends with. Sean Ryan, like, I've been to the studio and we talk and all that stuff. But, like, those are the connections that start the other connections that validate to those other guys who I am, right? So, like, when I'm talking to Redmond, I'm like, hey, you know Rut? And he's like, yeah, I know Rut. I'm like, Rut's my really good friend, you know? And they try to vet me out. Just like that one guy at that one company, we're not going to mention names, Ty, would called you and said, hey, who's this Mac Verdi guy? And you're like, Mac Verdi knows a lot of fucking people. Like, you might want to bring him on, right? Good thing that never worked out. But, you know, those are the connections you make. And you make that by talking to that one guy who knows 10 other guys. And then if you have that right connection, that one connection evolves into everything. And if that one connection doesn't work, you're in another room next week talking to another 30 different people, or you're going to these conferences and you're meeting people, or, you know, you gotta put time in your brand. Everybody's their own brand, right? And I don't do a lot of social media, but at the same time, like I should, but I don't. But if people start connecting the pieces and be like, oh, like LinkedIn is a huge tool for me. Because like I know this person who knows that person, I'd be like, hey, I need somebody, you know, help me with my VA loan. I get a message every week. Hey, this guy will help you, right? And I put him in the right contact with one of the guys on my team. So it's like networking is everything. But to get to that stage, you gotta be vulnerable. You gotta walk up to that person and be like, hey man, I loved your speech today. I love this. I love everything you're doing, whatever. My name's so-and-so. This is who I am and this is what I do. Like, do you have any advice? Like, how did you get to where you're at? And if people come to me and say, hey bro, like how'd you build this? Like I'll tell them all day. I've had loan officers that worked for me that literally like, oh, I'm gonna do what Max doing. Right? And they try to poach my guys inside of my house. And then they all tell me because they're loyal to me, because now these guys are making a good living and they're happy. And they're like, oh, so-and-so is trying to take us over here. And I have that conversation. I'm like, dude, you like, good for you. Send me a letter of resignation. I won't fire you. Go do your thing. I'll tell you you're not going to be successful because you don't have the connections that we have or I have. And they're like, and where are they at? Who knows? Haven't heard from them since, right? So again, it's building that network, but taking that body armor off and being vulnerable in front of the right people. And if you get into a room and you want to meet somebody, just talk to them. But once you tell them who you are and what you've done, if they don't give you that respect, you don't want to meet that fucking person anyways, right? Same in business. If you're working somewhere and the owner of the company comes in, so for instance, Loan Depot, the guy who owns Loan Depot, his name's Anthony Shea. He has this thing. He has a non-for-profit called War Heroes on Water, and it's September 20th. It's 5 days. You fly out to California. You're on a yacht for 3 days in a fishing tournament with other war heroes, right? It's 60 boats. It's amazing. He came to Loan Depot. He said, hey, I have 6 spots open for Loan Depot employees for War Heroes on Water. Please fill out this form. Well, I was like, yeah, this sounds cool. I'll do it. Well, you need to be a combat veteran. You need to have a Purple Heart or a Award with Valor to get qualified for this, right? It's legit War Heroes. Well, I don't have a Purple Heart, but I have a Valor. So I fill out the app. I get called like, hey, you've been selected. I'm like, out of the 700 veterans at Loan Depot, how many people have qualified? You're like 3. You know, we got a Purple Heart guy, we got a guy with a cab, and we got you. But now, like, I sent the founder of our company, a billionaire, right? I shot him an email. I said, hey, just want to say I'm so excited for this thing, War Heroes on Water. I can't wait to go, blah, blah, blah. He emails me back. He's like, Matt, can't wait to meet you. This guy's a billionaire. He's the founder of Loan Depot. I don't give a fuck. I'll shoot that guy an email all day because I want him to know when I get there, like, hey, Mr. Shane McFurdy, how you doing? Oh, shit, right? That's the vulnerability you got to let. Like, what's he going to say? He's not going to say anything negative to me. He's going to be positive. But now he knows I'm a force, and I'm not scared to go talk to the guy where 90% of the company is, right? So there's a lot of things that you just have to break into, I think, in the business world. Like if you work at Home Depot, become best friends with your store manager. Hey, man, how the fuck did you get this store manager? I did this, this, and this. Quick story. Well, I made E5. The day I made E5, I went to my platoon sergeant and said, how do I make E6? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, give me a list of what I need to do to make E6. He's like, oh, I started laughing. I'm like, I'm serious. Like I went to my platoon sergeant. He gave me a list, and I made E6 as soon as I became available. I made E6 under 5 years because I checked off all the blocks. I'm like, here you go. But I did other things too. But it's like, you know, I was always like, all right, I'm here. How do I get to the next level?
Yup. Just got to put yourself in the right situation. If you do that, good things will happen. Again, this is why I was saying before, we're really good at doing that in the military. How do I get promoted? What do I got to do to get to the next level? What do I got to do to lead people? What do I got to do to be the whatever that's in front of you? And you go do that shit. You get out and you're like, nobody likes me. Like, Jesus, dude, for real? Go ask somebody how they got where they're at or what they're doing or where they go. It's amazing that we already have the answers. You just have to go do it. That's the bottom line. You know, I'm glad that you came on, Mac, because all that stuff is relevant. Just and honestly, what's the secret? Just go do it. Just ask the question.
Like Rob Diedrich, right? The skateboarder guy that had Fantasy Factory and all that.
Yep.
He came out, you make your own luck. He trademarked that. You make your own luck. Get out there, get present, make your own luck. Like it just, you know, life's not a scratch off. You got to go out there and do it. And if you get enough attempts at bat, you're going to hit a home run. It's like business. You go to you know, the Florida. Look at all the companies I've started in the state of Florida, right, under the LLCs. It's probably a laundry list. You throw shit against the wall, something's going to stick. But you got to keep fighting through it and keep believing in what you're doing.
Yeah.
I think with what I'm doing now in this space for the last 3 years, you know, it's starting to really hockey stick. It's working because I'm getting big players that see the game, that are in the game. They're like, holy shit, you know, like I talked to him. He talked a good game, but now he's really doing stuff. And they all want to be part of the team. And, you know, Danny Archer's a fucking home run hitter. It's a 160th guy. That's how it is. He does not care. He's very blunt and very forward, right? Love the guy. And when he came over here 3 weeks ago, a month ago, I was like, you know, a lot of guys are going to follow too. So it's good stuff, man. I'm glad you guys brought me on. I appreciate you guys. I watch you when I'm home on Thursdays. I'm on my computer in my office, and the thing pops up, you know, Triple Vest Threats going live. Like you had that girl on last week. Where the fuck was she 25 years ago? Right? But yeah, I mean that's a home run. That's an aviation helicopter pilot, you know, lawyer and a Nashville superstar. Like I hooked up with Chris Young, you know, a friend of mine who's in Nashville. So it's like, dude, like there's a million. Like, yeah, I was like, wow, that was a good one.
Well, Mac, we appreciate you being on the show. Love you, brother, and we'll catch up with you real soon, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks, guys. See you.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, Mac Verdi.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've put his LinkedIn in the comments a few times there, but I mean, literally, I've worked with him a few times at a few different companies, watched him work from afar, kept in touch with him. Like this guy does a lot of good stuff for veterans. And like I said, he may not be humble, but that dude right there is benevolent. Like he wants the best for everybody.
But by the way, had no fucking clue his name was Mackenzie. I'm gonna have fun with that one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hell,
coming on, Mackenzie, we appreciate it.
That's a hell of a show. What I mean, what else we got to talk about? I guess big shout out to Al. The date goes on for, you know, the birthday.
I mean, Al's probably on margarita number 3.
Yeah. Hey, Al, if you're out there watching, send us an update of the level of inebriation. Is it just fun, Al, with doing the what's it called?
Stuntman, baby.
Stuntman, or are we going like full nuclear? We're gonna have to come get you out.
Either way, it's nuclear. It's either fun nuclear or holy shit, watch out nuclear. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Lots of fun.
No, man, I think it's just important since we had the opportunity, man, like to just talk about it, you know?
Yeah.
Each person, we talk about this for our podcast. You know, if you have a story to tell, we want to hear it. Like reach out to us and we'll do our absolute best to schedule, get you on, like go through all the things to have you get on the show so that you can tell your story, right? But at the same time, you all have another story to generate or make, if that makes sense, right? You have to go out and continue to do that stuff that has your story attached to it, right? If you get out and the whole identity of who you are is what you were when you were in, well, then the story's over. But the story's not over. Like, you know, we're a never-ending book, right? You got to fill the pages. The last page isn't written, and you can't get to the last page without writing the next pages. You know what I mean? So you just have to continue to push. And I just think it's important for people to just hear that experience, right? Like you can make your own success, and it's still true. You can be whatever you want to be when you grow up if you have enough work ethic and drive. You just have to do it. And that's the ticket.
Yeah, I can't agree more. I wrote down some notes here. Said, with most of our people that have veteran-owned businesses that have been on the show, some of these high-level people networked through our service, through post-military endeavors. It may be a job that you had at a particular time in the military. I know I've used that for my entire career, the networking that I made working in the Rear Talk and getting to be around General Petraeus and, him coming on the show. That was amazing, so,
Yep.
So here's kind of what I was taking notes for. These people that we've had on the show, they're busy as hell, making their businesses grow. Be sure and follow, subscribe, and come on our show and tell your story, because we tell veteran success stories. And I think the overall sentiment that we've learned tonight is the biggest avenue for veteran success is through networking. Don't just sit there. You got to get off the X, as Jason Redmond says, and move forward always. There's so many analogies that the veteran community has helped me with in these 9 years. And then just, most of the time, Matt and I are so either producing or doing the interview of the show that we don't have time to wax poetic. So this show tonight was a lot of fun for me. Shout out to my wife for her birthday. Happy birthday, honey. And then Matt.
Happy birthday to the ladies.
Thank you for doing this. Like when we had the earlier cancellation, we were like, oh shit, this sucks. I was like, you want to just cancel? Because, it's my wife's birthday. I was
no,
like,
dude.
Yeah, and he was like, fuck no, cancel.
Well, first off though, you did not drop in the part about it was your wife's birthday. You're just like, should we cancel it? And I was like, fuck no, dude. But I would have just came on here and talked shit by myself. I don't care. I think as long as there's one of us willing to do it, we're good to go. And, that's what we're about. It's like, it's that thing, man. This is we get ready to get underway or go in deployment every Thursday. And that means someone's got to be here to run and move it. So as long as one of us is able to jump on, I think we just always do it. And it's fun, man. It's good to talk to and catch up to people that we know. And,
Speaking of having fun, we're gonna try a little experiment here. We're live on TikTok, and we've got a few people watching. John Smith was on. Shout out Ventman Studios. Shout out to Ghost. You just joined. We're here every Thursday night, 7 p.m. telling veteran success stories. Come on. And I'm gonna do a little networking here on the new TikTok. I'm gonna be turning 51 next week, but I'm gonna have some fun here and role play what I see people doing on TikTok to network. You ready?
Yeah.
You're going to laugh. All right, stream, I need you to go ahead and hit the like button. Be sure everybody's tapping the screen. We're battling this other podcast over here. They ain't shit. We're the best podcast there ever was. They ain't nothing. We cover the real stories. They're just hyping themselves up. Anyway, be sure and like. Hey, TikTok. Hey, look, we jumped from we jumped by 6 by the time me acting like a fool on there. But yeah, shout out to the TikTok.
We went from 0 to 6. Let's go, baby.
No, we were at 2 to 6. So yeah.
So we jumped 4. We jumped 4.
We jumped
nice.
4. Yeah, 2 to 6. Now it's back down to 3.
I mean,
anyway, when you do that for some reason, that networks the shit out of
the
TikTok.
but you forgot to ask the chat what you should do. What should we do, chat? How should we do it? Chat, what do we do? Yeah. What do we do here? What do we do here? Tell me what we do here. Do we keep talking? Oh no, we should close the show. Chat, tell me what you think, right? Like,
maybe that'll be a new segment of the show. I normally don't do a tell off, but I'll act ignorant in front of TikTok for about 10 to 15 seconds to close.
Maybe you should do it in the beginning, the middle, and the end.
That algorithm, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Anyway, Matt, I appreciate you. You want to get to next week's guests? Or
sure.
you got anything else you want to talk about?
No, man, I'm good, bro. I'm good. I do have some events we can talk about that are coming up after we talk about the guests, though.
Oh, fuck yeah. So future guests, we talk about veteran nonprofits and networking. Danny Archer himself, this was not planned for Mac to come on, so don't mean to inundate you with good stuff, but we're not talking about mortgages. We're going to be talking about Valor Farms. This is equine therapy for veterans, first responders. We got a little video that I'd like to play right now. Just a kind of what'll be coming up next week. I think that's going to make that's a big thing. Equine therapy. Like I grew up around horses. I can attest to it, and just to see the techniques that they use to have the horse, and the horse essentially calms you down. That shit is mesmerizing to me. So we're going to spend my birthday next week on the Triple Threat Vet podcast right here at 7 p.m. My birthday will be spent with Danny Archer talking about Valor Farms and all the horses that he's got, stories behind the horses. He's journaling and being on social media about the mortgages, but man, this work he's doing, freaking top notch. So we're looking forward to having him on next week.
Oh, sure.
Danny Archer.
Well, so just so you know, Carlos Calzada's in the comments. He's here. Shout out to 1513 Cookers and Grass Cutters. If you need your grass cut in San Antonio, I know a guy that does a really good job. He puts a huge level of military precision, superiority, and attention to detail in making your curb look like it's $1 million. So call 1513 Grass Mowers to get your lawn mowed today. That sounded great, dude. You owe me like $5 for the next 10 yard, whatever. He said he could be a fill-in. Look, he thinks people think he's the guy on the shirt. So I guess that means that they think he's Al. Probably. I would say that's accurate. Yeah.
Yeah,
Shout
but
out
also
to Carlos, man. He's out there hustling too, bro.
Yeah, I think we'll see Carlos definitely on the live show we do from the Danny Dietz in September. That's coming up fast, man. We're gonna have to start getting ready for that. I talked to shout out Chopping Block John Tierna, veteran himself. He said he is going to be able to give us some guidance on the meats and get all that stuff set up for us for the Danny Dietz. So big shout out to the Chopping Block in Webster. John Tierna, veteran, cool as hell if you're in the barbecue industry, or if you just want some choice cuts or all the different cool cuts of beef you want. John Tierna, Chopping Block, Webster.
Yeah, man. Danny Dietz is coming up in September. Matter of fact, that week in September is smashingly freaking busy. So Thursday the 10th, Triple Threat Vet Live from the Danny Dietz. We're going to I don't know what we're going to do yet there, Ty. We may have just an interview, and then you'll see a whole bunch of people in the background talking shit and laughing. Or we'll bring people on. We haven't decided yet, but we'll figure it out. But if you're not there at the Danny Dietz, you're going to miss the most kick-ass tailgate party that's ever been seen at the Danny Dietz. The next day, on the 11th, is the Battle of the Badge between the Houston Fire and Police Departments, 7 p.m. at the baseball stadium at Rice University. And then the 12th is the actual Danny Dietz, where Al's going to attempt to win a category while we all stand there and take credit for it. And then Monday, the 14th, is the annual Project Zero 9/11 Golf Scramble. So if some of you companies out there that be talking about you want to help veterans, go out and get yourself a sponsorship with the Project Zero Alliance in their golf tournament. Those are things that are coming up very soon. And then don't forget, Got Your Six is going to be selling custom hats at Project Halo Brewing for Christmas in July on this Saturday from 4 to 8. And if you just want to laugh and live in Pearland, go to the VFW in Pearland and check out Eric Knowles and Michael Sanchez. I heard Mike Sanchez's Fuck You shirt is awesome. You should go check that thing out. But other than that, man, it was good to just shoot the shit, talk shit. Thanks for coming on to Mac Verdi. I always like getting perspectives of guys that have won, failed, won, and are still trying to figure it out. And if that's, for whatever it is, he shows you that persona of, I'm going to fucking fail. I don't give a shit. I'm going to keep going. And so that's what we got to continue to do. And the last thing that I'm going to say is, as Al says all the time, man, reach out to somebody, give them a call, say hello, let them know you're thinking about them. You never know when that person needs to hear your voice. So why not make it tomorrow or even today? With that, we will see you next week after Al's done drinking all those margaritas.
If you or someone you know is in crisis, contact the Veterans Crisis Line at 1-800-273-8255. Then press 1.